Because I grew up in a military family, I was always interested in the Naval Academy. I actually wanted to go here since I was 5 years old. So that was my start. Throughout high school, remained my interest, and then Congressman Mathias was our representative, and he held a competitive test and then interview process, and I was the one selected, so I was thrilled. As a matter of fact, I remember getting the telegram in the night when, at home one night, and just changed my life on the spot. I think they teach a lot of lessons here that prepare you for any career. I think teamwork, is an obvious one. We all know that. The education is fabulous, and there's no doubt that by being a math major, or really any of the majors here, you learn analytical thinking. And I think certainly in medicine that was important for me to learn that. I'd say I learned perseverance as well, or delayed gratification, if you would, because sometimes to get the long-term gain, you have to be willing to work hard and keep at it for a while. In Navy medicine, we have really two jobs. One is taking care of the health care in our brick and mortar facilities in what you call the medical centers or the clinics, but we also have a operational role. We deploy on ships, submarines, we deploy with air squadrons, and as you know, we're intimately involved in the fight in Afghanistan now. So I think by my having served in the line community for 5 years, it gave me a greater understanding, not only when I did my operational assignments, but when I was caring for the families or the sailors when they were back at home. I knew what they'd been through.
U.S. military helicopters began ferrying victims of the earthquake to the USNS Comfort, the hospital ship which will provide much-needed support to the medical teams working here so heroically over the past week.
About a week and a half into it, they asked me if I would go down and coordinate the entire military, U.S. military medical relief effort, so I did that. And we served on the Joint Task Force down there, but actually had the opportunity to coordinate the relief efforts for all three services, as well as the Coast Guard and actually the Marines, so all four services in the Coast Guard. It was truly chaos when we got there, as many of these natural disasters are. But we had a great team, reopened the port, we got saved thousands of lives, made a difference in the lives of many. But I think the defining moment was when the first ship pulled in. They had actually flown a patient out, a 4-year-old out, I believe it was a young child. And before the anchor went down, they were doing surgery on the child to save her life. That's how dramatic the need was when we got there. The other interesting part about that was the hospital ship can take up to 2 weeks to get underway. And we gave the order to get underway in 5 days, and they were out in 2.5 days with all the people, all the equipment. And it truly was a statement of the response of our nation. It's interesting to watch them. They come in, and they're pretty convinced they won't be able to walk or do anything. And they do, of course, because their fellow warrior who was injured 6 months ago is now walking, running, tells them you're going to get up. What they also do is they've lost a lot of muscle mass throughout their previous months of surgeries and recovery, and they bulk up. And even if they've lost both legs, you see these guys are built like Arnold Schwarzenegger, just massive. And the ones that have kept their legs, it's really a testament to their spirit and how they're willing to just look forward in their life rather than look back. Certainly. At Walter Reed Bethesda, we received the most severely injured from the OEF, OAF, and Operation New Dawn. And in addition to the physical injuries, we also received, we're the Center of Excellence for the Traumatic Brain Injury Post-Traumatic Syndrome overlap. We are always looking at ways to approach healthcare and making improvements, and not just the injured, but also in their families. We have a Healing Arts program there, where in the National Intrepid Center of Excellence, which is our Center of Excellence for Traumatic Brain Injury, we have a certified art therapist. And one of the really unique approaches she has is she'll take the member with a traumatic brain injury or suffering from PTS and have him sit down and make a mask to show his emotions. And you would think most of these guys have never done art, let alone want to do art, let alone be creative. It's truly healing because it really lets them express their emotions in a visible and physical way. As any commanding officer would do, I walked around every day and would see how people were doing. And it was really my take on how the place was going. We had, specific measures in place, and we would see how things, but important to me was the morale. And one day I was on the ward, and I just hope we're going to make this. This is a big battle here, right? And one of the nurses came and grabbed me and says, "Come here, Emily, you got to see this." And the nurses had all lined up with shirts on that said, "Beat Army, beat Navy, beat Army, beat Navy." And I said, "We're going to make it." I knew it, right? Well, currently, I'm the Deputy Chief for the Bureau of Navy and Bureau of Navy Medicine for the Wounded, Ill, and Injured programs. So intimately involved in basically what I was doing before, but now at the policy level. I think looking at what has happened at Walter Reed Bethesda in particular, and being able to bring the services together is really indicative of how we need to fight and be as services in our nation. It's the future, and I've been very proud to be a part of that. As I look back on my career in the Navy, I can't think of any more rewarding career that there is on the planet. To have been able to serve as a line officer and now as a medical officer and be able to give back to the most deserving patients and defend the cause of freedom around the world has just meant the world to me. I hope in some way I made a difference.